Hey everybody, welcome to, what is it? It's July 21st, 2020, the July 21st, 2020 MakerDAO community call. My name is David Utrobin. I do some community development work for the Maker Foundation, and I get the good pleasure of facilitating these calls every Tuesday. So we typically use this call to go through the week at MakerDAO, what's been happening in governance, all the different highlights from the community, developer highlights, partnerships and integrations, kind of current events and things like that. And actually, we also like to have interesting projects and guests come on the call to do demos, question and answer sessions, and you name it. This week we're not going to be going through like a usual weekly agenda, but actually a group of community members who have been working together in a working group called the Governance Communications Working Group have put together a weekly newsletter called Maker Relay. So if you are here for the community call to get updated on what's happening, highly suggest you check out the Maker Relay newsletters that they've been putting out every Monday. If you're on the call and not watching a recording, you can access that newsletter by just clicking the link right underneath my my beautiful M right here. There should be a button, and it should lead you to the episode that they just published yesterday. It has a full breakdown of the votes, of Mips that are going on. It has a state of the DAI section, so it analyzes, well, it actually kind of borrows from Vishesh's analysis on the Thursday call and kind of restates it and makes it available for anybody in the community to go and like skim through and have a really great consistent source of information. So yeah, this week we're gonna be doing some really fun stuff. We actually have 3 different guests. We usually have like maybe 1 or 2 guests max, but there's a lot happening. So I think if if you attended the call over the last like couple of months, you'll know that I've been mentioning the Protect Privacy Virtual Hackathon for a little while. And MakerDAO, the Maker Foundation, was a sponsor in that hackathon, and we had 2 different bounty tracks that we were giving out prizes for. The first one was for Protect Privacy and Governance. So participants were tasked with helping increase the privacy needs of MKR voters and the governance system generally in the Maker protocol. While the other one was trustless DAI payments. And I know that there has been a ton of development in the space around ZK snarks in particular. I think there's actually like a few different ways to even currently use ZK snarks on mainnet for DAI. So I think that it's going to be really fun having these 3 teams on and to give us a short demo of their projects and have it open to some Q&A. So I have on the list 3 different guests. We have Sarang and Akash from the private delegation of Maker Governance. They're gonna come on first, and then after that, I'm gonna have Suni Radadia. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If not, you can totally correct me when you come on the mic or on the cam. Suni did a project for trustless DAI. It's private DAI transactions. And then Eugene Koinov did a ZK vote project, so also related to governance, the governance track. So we have 2 on the governance side and 1 on the private DAI transaction side. So Sarang, if you are in the call, I am gonna invite you in just a second. If you're not on the call yet, that's okay. We're just gonna have to wait and have somebody else come on. So actually, I think I can get Akash on, right? Yeah, so here, I'll invite you onto the screen, Akash. And Sarang, yeah, cool. I found you guys. You guys could both come on the screen, or one of you, but this platform Crowdcast makes it really easy for both of you to come on, so yeah, don't be shy, feel free. Anyway, I sent the invites, so you guys should be able to pop on any second now. And for anyone who's curious to follow along, the event page for this community call has links to all the GitHub repos, but just for good measure, I'll post a link to Sarang and Akasha's GitHub right there. All right, Akash and Sarang are accepted and connecting, so give us just a minute. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, hello.
Hey, where are you guys calling from?
We are calling from India.
Nice, nice. Well,
Yeah.
hello from New York. I hope it's what time is it in India? It's like 7 o'clock, six
It's
o'clock
like
ish.
9:30 p.m.
9:30. Wow, wow, that's already
Yeah.
evening time. Well, thank you for I don't want to say sacrificing, but devoting like a good hour of your evening to coming on and talking about your project,
No,
man.
actually, like it is a really good opportunity for us as well.
Sweet. So right now you are screen sharing, and we're gonna walk through this private delegation of Maker governance project that you guys put together. So coming
Yeah.
into it, what attracted you to do the project in the first place?
Actually, we were really interested in privacy, like for a long time. Like we have participated in earlier few hackathons as well, where we built. In one of them, we built basically a Ziggy compound where you can lend and borrow in compound protocol in a basically confidential manner where your amount and everything will be kind of private. And
Yeah.
we have built another few things in the privacy space, and we have been working on it for a long time. And
You
this
cut
was
out a
few.
little bit.
Hello, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, like when we saw this project, uh, we really interesting to work on it, and this was an interesting problem to solve as well. Like delegation and voting both are really interesting, but for particularly this one, we were not exactly sure like how we'll be able to do it if we do it for private voting, because the main problem with voting was ki, like it is really easy to. I mean, it is achievable if we want to do private voting in, let's say, one vote, one person setting. But the
Hmm.
way Maker does it, it basically employs a weighted voting kind of mechanism in which every person have a weight based on the number of Maker tokens he have logged into the contract. And the thing is ki, no matter what method we apply, like at the time of voting, we will have to somehow get the amount of Maker that the person has in his account. And for that, the account will be somehow revealed, like in some way or other. So we decided to jump onto the delegation wala part. And are you guys able to see my screen? The Medium article, like, is this visible?
Yeah, it's visible. I also posted a link to that Medium article there in the chat.
Ah, okay, great, great. So basically, this is an article we wrote like when we were starting out to just kind of formulate all our ideas. And should we start with the presentation? I will just go through the ideas, and then my friend Saram will show you the demo.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you could start with the presentation. I think I'm gonna give pretty much each team something like 10, 15, 20-ish minutes, depending on the length of the demo and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, feel free to get started.
Okay, great, great. So yeah, so we started this. We started building this project and take part in this particular bounty because we wanted to solve the problem of private delegation. And the thing is, ki right now people are able to delegate, but the address of the delegate, basically the person the vote, basically the person who the vote is delegated to is easily revealed. Like for example, how Compound does it. So in Compound as well for delegation, you have to like, basically send a on-chain contract with the address of the delegate, and that basically what do you say? That basically reveals the address of the delegate right there itself. And there are like all such kind of problems like bribing and fencing, all these things are possible. So what we wanted to do is if somehow we can make something where the address of the delegate is not revealed at least until the time the vote is taken place. So like once the vote has taken place, there is not a lot that someone can do. But at least till the point of voting, the person should not be able to guess key who the vote is being delegated to. So that was our main goal towards that. And then what we finally built, like we used basic ZK Snugs, and we used the Zocris toolbox to build a arithmetic circuit. And we also made the complete project, which to be like totally maker compliant and easily compatible. So for that, we used all the contracts which are being used by Maker right now for their governance portal, and with just minor changes in the chief.sol contract and the board proxy contract, like we can easily implement this private delegation into Maker governance. And these are the few features we are able to get, which will not be revealed till is not revealed before the vote actually takes place. So that is one thing. And in case of compound, like basically every time you change your delegation, you have to do an on-chain transaction, and that is something which is not required in our case. But like for voting as well, you have to one type basically set up the board proxy contract, right? So in the similar way, if you want to do this private delegation, you can just have a one-time setup and you are good to go. The next thing is like yeah, the delegation is something which we can build both basically for both the cases. We can have one-time delegation and we have extended delegation as well. So
Very
these
cool.
were the these were the main features that we are able to provide. And now, Sarang, are you online?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Yeah, I had a terrible internet connection.
Oh,
No
great.
Thank
worries,
God
man.
I'm online. Yeah. So I'll share my
So
screen for
yeah,
the demo.
yeah. Sharon, can you start the demo? I will just stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. Okay. Share screen. Okay. Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we could see it.
Awesome. So here what we are looking at is a similar portal to Maker governance. So as you know, as Akash told, that we're trying to be as Maker compliant as possible. So we kind of clone the existing Maker governance and show. So initially we'll do a normal vote. That should we add KNC or not? So this is like a general normal vote that any of the uh, Maker voting now, like the same way it happens right now. And we can see that we have staked 800 makers. So this is pretty familiar to all of you guys, right?
Yeah.
So now what we'll be doing is we'll be actually delegate this vote to somebody else without actually doing a mainnet transaction that reveals who it is delegated to. So now I have gone to the delegated vote section where I'll click on a random generator so that it gives us random. So you don't even have to depend upon us. You can either put your random or you can keep generating the random number till you're satisfied, and then it will do the start delegation process. So, and here we get the zero knowledge proof. So we call it ZK node in this case, and we have like an identifier of MakerDAO delegate to make it unique. And we can copy this or save this, and we can send this via any secure medium.
It can
So
be the
now
email or signal, anything you like.
yeah. So now we'll be actually going and voting onto a different proposal. And since this account would not have any maker, right, but the weight of the vote would be taken from the person who delegated it to. So even though I don't have any maker, I can successfully vote for a maker account which has a huge number of maker tokens.
So I have a quick question. When you're generating the ZK note from the account that has the MKR, are you able to delegate less than the full amount of MKR on that account? Like, let's say I only want to delegate 200 MKR, not 800. Is there a way to do that, or does the method you guys use just kind of assume the full amount?
Oh, the thing is ki, we actually assume the full one based on how the maker voting is implemented. Like right now, whenever we vote, like the complete amount that is locked in the contract is added to the vote.
Got it.
So that's why we kind of use a similar structure. But yeah, if we want something like less than amount, then that can be done as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So I just changed my account to MetaMask, and I'll go and vote on this proposal. Yeah. So I'll paste my ZK node. I'll choose the option. And here we go. So as you could see, the votes have been transferred from this proposal to this proposal. And it can be also voted for a newer proposal because Maker allows you to do such a thing. So we thought that this is a very cool thing and we should also include that in the demo.
Love
And
it.
yeah, if you guys want to have a much deeper understanding on what methodologies did we follow and how our entire application was built and what are the practices that we use, feel free to head to our GitHub where you can dive more about it and you can actually set up the entire thing on your own and test it. So yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
sweet.
much it from my side.
So while people are absorbing this and potentially asking some questions, actually, here we go. Here's the question number one. So Vamsi from actually the Foundation integration team is asking, what are the gas costs like compared to regular votes?
Oh, that's a great question. So right now we are comparable to the gas costs taken in the Tornado Cash transactions because we have a similar structure on how the Tornado Cash works. So we are in compliance with the gas prices of a Tornado Cash. So it is almost will be similar, but a slightly up at like 1,000 or 2,000 gas more because we do one more transactions in the voting as well.
Nice. So in general, pretty expensive.
Yeah, but that's
Naturally,
because of
yeah.
good privacy-based voting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully there's ways to scale that up in the future, but this is like
Definitely, yeah.
this is definitely a good like a stepping stone. Do you guys have any interest in further building out the idea or project? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we and Akash, like I and Akash, were actually looking at what more can we do with our project. So we actually wanted a lot more expert feedbacks, and you know, hackathons, how hackathons are done, right, in the hackiest way. So we wanted to streamline our process and get the actual things that Maker would actually want us to build it for. So this is basically we assume that as following Maker from a long time, we are huge Maker fans. So this is what they do good at. So we thought like this might be the things that they assume. So basically, if we get that right assumptions, we'll be able to help craft the product in a better manner.
Nice, yeah, and actually that kind of feeds into the whole gradual decentralization narrative because over time there's going to be a need for multiple smart contract teams and multiple teams of like developers who are building out either improvements to current contracts or yeah, pretty much anything for the protocol. So this is really cool and that's exciting to hear from you guys. If there's no other questions, yeah, I'm happy to get Suni on, but yeah, I want to give a chance for people to ask at least some. So Frank is asking, so when you delegate, you are delegating a quote random staker government representative. I guess so. So you create the ZK node, and it's whoever you send it to is the person who's delegated, right?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yes.
If that ZK note is leaked, is there a way to invalidate it?
So basically, you can generate this script again, and that would invalidate it. So basically, you need to have the latest ZK node for this. So if I run this 3 times and I do this, the older nodes won't be valid.
Got it. And so it basically works like there's only one active node per address at a given time, and it's the latest one that was created. Got it.
Correct.
Yeah, so if you want to delegate to somebody, it has to be either somebody with a public address like available that you could just or send? No, I guess.
Yeah, so you do not need any address in this case. So
Yeah,
if I don't know
yeah,
even address, I can just send you by email or any secure like Signal channel, and you can just post it through any of the address you want. So if even you want more privacy, you can go to Tornado Cash, get a new address funded, and you can go ahead and paste the note from that.
yeah. Sweet, nice. Yeah, this is a really cool project. I'm really happy for you guys. I believe your team won one of the 2,000 die rewards for this. So yeah, congratulations to both of you,
Thanks.
and it's a really cool project, and I can't wait to see how it grows and scales up in the future.
Thanks. You can even actually do a sneaky private voting. So if you delegate it to your own self and do it from a
Ha!
different account. But Akash, but I've already told you some of the disadvantages that you might face with that, right? So yeah.
Right, right. I mean, for me, the biggest disadvantage is gas costs and my embarrassingly small amount of MKR.
True, true, true. Cool.
All right,
Thanks
cool.
a
Well,
lot. Thanks a
thank you
lot.
so much, Sarang, for coming on, and
Thanks for having us.
I'm ready to get into the second demo of the three that we have lined up. So I'm gonna be inviting Sunny to the screen. So Sunny, invite sent. While you're making your way here, I'm gonna post the GitHub for Sunny's hackathon project. It's called Trustless Die. It won a 1,500 die prize, and I believe it was second place for the private die transactions track. So definitely check that out. Yeah, and in the meantime, if anybody is interested in asking questions, again, feel free to write them in the chat. I'm happy to relay them for you. There's also an ask a question module on the bottom that you could also use. Totally up to you guys, but yeah. Hey Suni, how's it going? No, not
Hi,
you.
I'm fine.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Suni or is it Sunny?
Hey, Sunny. It's Sunny.
Sunny, right? Okay, sweet, sweet. Well, pleasure to meet you, man. Yeah. I'm. I guess the first question I could ask is, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the project and what made you interested in coding it up.
Yeah. So yeah, as you know, my name is Sunny, and I'm from India, and I'm in the blockchain space of blockchain space for around 8 months, 8 or 9 months. So yeah. So and I currently I'm as a self-employed. I'm so and working in DeFi projects. So when I came to the like I also developed like a gasless wallet and some other wallets like. So now when the problem statement comes privacy in wallets, so so I was new to zero knowledge, so I started to dig into work on this project. Hi, hello, hello, David.
Oh yeah, I
Hello.
am muted. Thank you, Ed. Hey, are you there? Yeah. So,
Sorry, yeah,
so
there is a network issue in my village area.
no worries, Sonny. Yeah, we could hear you. We heard most of everything you said. So you had some experience developing a gasless wallet. You've been coding and working in the blockchain space for like the last 8 or 9 months, and that this recent project was almost like kind of an exploration and a way for you to get to know the ZK snark stuff a bit better, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I would love to check out your project if you're able to show us a demo. Otherwise, I'm gonna post the GitHub again in the chat for the people watching.
Yeah. So Yeah. So David, can you do one thing? I have sent a YouTube video
Yeah,
in
sure.
chat. So because there is network issue, so I can't connect with laptop.
Totally fine. Yeah, let me pull that up. So is it the link you posted earlier?
Yeah.
I think that's a workout video. I think you might have posted the wrong link. But here, I think I got the right link. Tell me if that one's correct. And I'll
Yeah.
I'll share my screen and
Yeah. You write
okay, so give me just one
lol into
second.
it.
Yeah, when I saw you posted that, I kind of laughed. I was like, "Oh man, that was definitely either a mistake or just some humor." Okay, cool. So here, I have the video
Yeah. Yeah. Totally
loaded,
fine.
and I'm gonna share my screen now. Okay. You all should be able to see it now, and let me know if the audio is coming through or not.
Yeah. I will speak. Audio is muted, so I will speak with this video.
Cool.
So as you can see here, for account one, there is a 109 DAI balance. Did you? Yeah. So so I'm sending the transaction. So I'm sending one DAI to the account two. So platform will generate the encrypted node, and that encrypted node will save to the blockchain, and then account two will go to his wallet, and the account one is currently sending the one DAI, uh, and it will generate the encrypted node.
So for this method to send DAI, it requires the creation of a note, and then for the person who's receiving it, they actually have to do a transaction to receive it, right? By claiming,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So as you can see, account two has a one DAI to claim. So when he will claim at the time zk proof will generate, as you can see over here, and that zk proof will go to the on chain, and that proof will match with the encrypted node, and if that proof is verified, then a private DAI transaction will happen.
Nice. Yeah. See, it seems fairly
And I will
straightforward. So tell me about like I know that if I'm not mistaken, Aztec and like ZK Dai they did come out with some stuff for mainnet already. I'm not sure if there's a good interface. I remember there being one, but I can't quite remember where it is. Yeah, but
okay.
this looks super clean. It looks super clean, super yeah, it's pretty simple. What are the gas costs on this like as well? Is it also something like I guess compared to a regular transaction, what are the gas costs like for this?
Yeah, so currently gas cost must be maybe some expensive, but me and my team working on this, and we try to move this project with governance and also tokenized asset. So zk knowledge proof can work over there also. And in Gitcoin, MakerDAO suggests that that wallet should be like uh, frictionless for users. So it should not be worry for the user to take care about like a zk proof and all. So we have this all in backend, like generating proof and witnesses and all. So I try my best to give this in 1 month.
So Sarang wrote in the chat, you can abstract the note details like we did with our note. It'll enhance the UX. So Sarang, do you you can abstract the note details like we did with our note. It'll enhance the UX. Does that mean like making it copy to clipboard and like that, or what exactly do you mean by abstracting the note details?
Yeah. So if you working on the zero knowledge proof, you need to work with CL at the like container and all. So if I will get the witness, then I'll go to the that witness on a zk knowledge library container, and where I will generate the verifier and proof, and that will be manual process. So I automated this process.
Got it.
So I try to automate this process, and also give a good user experience, so anyone can feel like wallet.
Sorry, I'm just moving my screen back. Yeah, so you prioritize basically the user experience so that the person doesn't really have to know all of the stuff happening, all the complexity with zk snarks in the back end. For them, it's just a matter of getting the claimable like code and sending it to the recipient so that they can actually claim it with their address. So this also, very similarly to the governance zk node solution, is it kind of requires you to know the counterparty and to be able to communicate with them outside off-chain, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Akash asks, how do you plan to do trusted setup for zk snarks? And Akash, if you'd like, I could invite you to the screen, or you guys could have a conversation about it. But yeah. Well, I mean, maybe for somebody like a noob, what about this setup right now is not trusted? Like, what are the vulnerabilities, or like what are the holes in this current setup?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe like a proof is generated by the zk knowledge proof. Maybe they can compromise. So like I'm focusing mainly on zk snacks, like how we can better this can become this better module.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. So Kasha's writing, because a compromised trusted setup can lead to generation of fake proofs. I see. So if you have a recipient, you generate the code, it would create a fake proof. I guess like you can create like a web page that puts its own recipient address even though you're putting yours, and then it'll create a proof and like something like that. Is that what you're talking about, Akash? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, Sunny, thank you for coming on. It's actually, so let me ask you, what are your future plans for this kind of experience and work? Has building this given you any interesting ideas for ways to like use DAI and take advantage of zk snarks and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So it was a great experience for me to do this, because like DAI is very stable coin, right? And that stable coin used in any like tokenized asset for payment as a, and that payment should be private. So we can use this concept in a tokenized asset, and also in governance. So me and my friend is working on this for also.
Nice.
So it was a great experience for me.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad you got you got working with it and more familiar with it, because you're one more person to be able to innovate on this tech, right? So it's exciting. All right, sweet, Sunny.
Yeah,
Sunny, thank you for coming on.
and sorry for my communication skills and my network issue.
Oh, dude, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It was a real pleasure to have you, and yeah, we're just doing kind of casual showcases. There's no pressure in these really. So always thank you, and having that demo from beforehand was super helpful. So thanks for putting that together.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
No problem. All right. I had one more guest, and that is Mr. Eugene. However, Mr. Eugene Koinov. However, I don't see him in the list. Eugene, if you are that anonymous user, let me know. I'll invite you to the screen. Otherwise, yeah, I guess we could reschedule Eugene for a couple weeks from now. And next week we're actually gonna have Akiva come on and talk about his forward rate, like my brain is floundering here a little bit. Yeah, he's going to talk a little bit about a project that he's been working on for quite a while, and it has to do with creating a fixed rate for the DSR, and he does it in an interesting and novel way. But in the meantime, we have about 20 minutes left on the call. We could do kind of maybe a couple of things. We can go back and talk a little bit more about Sarang and Akasha's project, or Sunny's project, or we can get into Maker Relay, and I could maybe walk through the Maker Relay newsletter a little bit, as I would probably. Oh, I'm sorry, Sunny. I'm gonna actually mute you here. Yeah, there you go. Right, yeah, so I can actually talk a little bit about Maker Relay, and we actually might be able to do like a bit of a review of what's been happening in the Maker protocol this week. There's definitely a number of things going on. So if anybody has like a special request or question about any of the projects we just saw, throw it in the chat. I'm definitely receptive to that, and we'll prioritize that. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to share my screen and go through Maker Relay. Akash wrote, "Hey David, can you maybe explain about development grants if we want to take it further?" Yeah, sure. So the foundation has been doing development grants for quite some time, albeit for a good portion of the time we've just had a huge backlog for the development grants. So we've been very selective about which grants we actually pursue. If you're interested in applying for the development grant, I'll send you the site. You can get the instructions at the bottom of this page. But generally speaking, right now in the department, we're going through a bit of a transition period. So it might take a week or two for us to get back to you about a given grant that you submit, or grant request that you submit. But yeah, you can check out the page I just posted, grants.makerdao.com. And at the bottom, it'll give you instructions. You just write out a page brief about the project and answer some of those questions that we ask you to answer. And then we take it from there. Yeah, I think you guys all did really great work on this. And I'm excited to have a second similar call in a couple of weeks, where I'm also going to have a few other of the projects, because I think we had something like 10 to 13 different submissions between the two tracks, which is really exciting. And yeah, and people have done a lot of interesting work, and it's my pleasure to try to help people demo it, showcase it, talk about it. So yeah. That's an interesting fact to know. So Sarang wrote that Maker had the most number of submissions during the hack. Cool. So here, let me get this Maker relay going. And then I could share my screen here. All right. So, if anybody on the call is interested, our community has a governance communications working group, and their goal is to tackle kind of the communications problems of the DAO, right? How does the DAO communicate and not be mistaken for the foundation? How does the DAO receive information from the community? How do we disperse important weekly information to MKR voters, and then like a number of other really kind of fundamental communications issues. But this working group, one of the first products that it's been putting out is this thing called Maker Relay. And Maker Relay is really useful. It goes into a number of time-sensitive topics week to week. So actually, it goes into all of the live polls, which just recently Long for Wisdom posted the very first of what's going to be a regular type of thread in the forum, which outlines the weekly polls. So you can check those out both on the forum and through Maker Relay, but Maker Relay will point to it. And this week's weekly polls are there's many of them. There's an Oracle proposal to appoint Arjun as a light feed. There's a vote around the PSM. So we're doing a governance poll currently for the PSM, and then there's some discussion topics there. We're also doing our weekly base rate vote and our biweekly DSR spread vote, which actually might come to an end soon based on whether we're going to remove the DSR spread. I know that was a Mips sub-proposal that was proposed this month. There's also a Mips monthly governance poll. So this is actually a bundled up governance poll of all the MIPS that passed the inclusion polling phase. So for context, MakerDAO operates through a monthly governance cycle, and we're currently in, it's July 21st, so we are in week number 3. Next week is going to be week number 4, and in week number 3 we do this bundled governance poll for all of the MIPS and sub-proposals that pass through the inclusion poll, and so that's what this is. If this passes, the MIPS will go to an executive vote next week, I believe on Friday, next Friday, and if that passes, they will all be officially part of the MakerDAO governance framework. There's also a whole series of community greenlight polls. As a reminder, community greenlight polls are used to kind of measure the sentiment of MKR voters towards a particular collateral that's not in the system yet. The domain teams like the smart contracts team, the Oracle team, and the risk team look at the results of these community greenlight polls as an indicator to help them decide which work they should prioritize. So, for example, if there is a highly sought after collateral in the community that might be relatively new or newly discovered, and there's like overwhelming weight on that greenlight poll compared to all the others, it may signal the domain teams to do work on that and prioritize that over some of the other collateral applications. And of course, community greenlight polls are not binding. They are almost purely just for sentiment. I think currently the domain teams all reserve the right to kind of work on collateral applications as they see fit. And so if you're an MKR voter and you have any particular likings or dislikings, you can go vote yes or no to any one of these, I believe, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 different 11 different assets that are up in the greenlight polls. So that's what's happening in voting. I believe there's a executive vote happening right now to raise the debt ceiling of ETH. I don't know if that actually passed yet, but we will see in just a second if this page loads. Also, in the coming months, we're going to see a really cool update to governance, specifically with regards to like page load times. There's also going to be a way to do batched voting. There's a ton of really cool upgrades in the works on the governance side for these coming months, which I'm really excited for. And I totally didn't spoil anything because I think Derek, I got that info from Derek on the forums, so I believe he posted publicly about some of those things. Yeah, so currently there is an executive vote to raise the ETH and USDCA debt ceilings. It only needs apparently 4,800 MKR to pass. So yeah, check that out as well. All right. If you're unfamiliar, Governance at a Glance is a really great way to get a quick update of what's happening in the forum. Long for Wisdom updates it quite frequently. Yeah, as you can see, 135 different edits since July 2019. And these are a bunch of active discussions, the different seeking consensus threads that have been going on for the last couple weeks, some ongoing initiatives, and then some help wanted posts, which there's currently none. But I think there should be, and there will be soon. Yeah. So as for Mips, as I mentioned, we are currently in week 3. Charles every Monday posts this really lovely weekly Mips update, so I'm not going to get into it too deeply right now. Actually, you know what? Just for the, I'm going to go back on my word. Just for the sake of it, let's check it out because there's actually something really cool about this, and I also want to show off this Kanban board for all of the Mips as well. Yeah, so the weekly Mips update. Yeah, this was last week. There were inclusion polls, and then on Thursday, the governance facilitators on the governance call did an inclusion poll review. These are the Mips and sub-proposals that have been submitted, and I believe passed the inclusion poll. So it is formally adding the weekly governance cycle, which currently Mips operate on a monthly governance cycle, but there are special kind of high priority items that we want to usher through a weekly cycle, and we have been. So this MIP kind of makes it a bit more formal that this weekly governance cycle does exist. MIP 18 is meta parameter adjustments. I believe this outlines how to change parameters that aren't technically in the system, like the base rate and the DSR spread. We vote on those values, but they are meta parameters because they're not actual parameters. They kind of inform what 2 or more parameters should be to kind of make them what they are. But either way, this gives a bit of formality and process around how to adjust and work with meta parameters. There's also a liquidation system upgrade in this month's governance cycle, and then a couple of sub-proposals. One for removing the DSR spread, which is this top one, and then the other one is the submission of all the domain work for Mana, which includes an assessment by a risk team, which also includes recommendations for a Mana A vault type and all of the associated parameters with it. And also there's a smart contracts assessment of Mana as well. So all of these things have been done for Mana, and I believe that if this gets voted through, it's going to lay the groundwork for a Mana vault type, which is really exciting. For this week, yeah, there's a monthly Mips governance poll, which I mentioned. It bundles up these 5 proposals that passed. And so, yeah, it's going to end on Thursday, so vote now or hold your peace until next week. So, yeah, this coming Thursday, they're going to do a review of the results of the governance poll, of the batch governance poll, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, collateral onboarding. We have Mana and Lend going through governance this month. Mana is going through the monthly cycle, which is part of the reason why it has this domain work requirement MIP being proposed. And then Lend is going to be using the weekly cycle, and tentatively it's predicted to be proposed on the 4th week of July's governance cycle. So it would kind of coincide with Mana if Mana gets included as a vault type. And yeah, I already mentioned the community greenlight polls. And then there's also a couple of interesting MIPs in the request for comment phase. At least these are the recent ones. I think there's actually a lot more in the request for comment phase. But MIP 20, which is a target price adjustment module, also called Vox, was posted by Lev, also known as Equivoral, I think is how you pronounce his handle on the forum. But yeah, Lev posted this. It's similar but a little bit different from the original TRFM idea. So I haven't had a proper chance to fully study and read it. I highly suggest you do, because I will be doing that in maybe about 15 minutes when I go eat my lunch. And then the other one is a sub-proposal for the new MIP 13, which MIP 13, if you don't know, is a MIP for it's called Declaration of Intent. It allows governance to kind of put together a request or like a very clear intention and goal for executing on something. So this proposal was actually submitted by Akiva, and it aims to help Vault users hedge their exposure to the base rate via various derivative contracts. So I also need to read up a little bit about it. I know Akiva's actually on the call. Akiva, in the chat, let me know if you want to actually talk a little bit about that. And if you dropped off, that's totally cool. Yeah, and then lastly, a TUSD update. As some of you know, TUSD was added as a vault type, but kind of shortly after that, they did a token contract upgrade that broke the vault type, or the adapter that allows the vault type to work. So luckily, this happened with only one TUSD vault in existence, and it was actually somebody from the foundation just testing it. And yeah, so there are some concerns around the vault type. And there is currently a signal request forum poll in there. But the TUSD team has been super helpful. They've been coming on the Thursday governance calls and giving us updates. And I believe the smart contracts team has been working to fix the TUSD vault type and make it work again. Yeah, so that's it for the MIPS update. Pretty simple. This is a really, really, really great Kanban board if you are regularly looking at what's happening in the MIPS world. I believe Charles St. Louis has been putting this together, but it's a really, really great board to see kind of the current status of a number of MIPS. So you could see there's 3 in the request for comment phase. There are 3 formal submissions here. I think this needs to be updated because it's been approved. You could see it's been merged though. There's a number of things happening here in the governance cycle for this month, which are these 5 MIPS and subproposals that I highlighted earlier. And then here is all the accepted and rejected statuses of, I believe, last month's MIPS. And then some obsolete MIPS. Yeah, so it's really cool to see kind of more ways to track what's happening in MIPS, because I know it could definitely be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not like constantly plugged in to Maker governance. Moving forward, some things happened in the domain teams. Mana got all of its got a risk valuation this week. Lend also got a risk valuation this week. Number of signal requests related to risk. Yeah, so I'm kind of walking through this also as a bit of a first time read. So I want to see how Maker Relay has been. And so far I'm pretty impressed. It's pretty great. Yeah, there's a working group. Oh yeah, so Vault Compensation Analysis Team. Last week there was a governance poll to accept or reject the recent proposal from the Vault Compensation Analysis Team, which is MakerMan, Monet Supply, and like a number of others, who put together a report, a recommendation, and the initial proposal. The governance poll actually failed, which doesn't mean that the Vault compensation plan is totally dead. Currently, they are looking for feedback about the proposal. They want to know why it was voted down, and they want to know how they could change it so that Maker governance could move forward with Vault compensation of people who suffered the zero bid attacks on March 12th, back when that happened. Man, March 12th feels like it was last week, but it was 4 months ago, so time really flies. Quick state of the peg. The volume weighted average price over the last 7 days for DAI has been $1 and about a penny. Maybe 13 basis points over, which is pretty consistent with how it has been. And yeah, it's very interesting what's happening with DAI. Maker governance is doing a number of things to address this imbalance in the peg, including, as many of you know, the recent conversations about the peg stabilization module, which there's actually a vote happening right now about. Yeah, we hit new all-time highs this week for DAI. There's currently like 218 plus million DAI, which is exciting. They're across all the exchanges listed on DAI.decipher.io. There's been around 33 million in volume around DAI this week. And again, I guess I thought this was the volume weighted average for the 7 days. I guess this is, which is a little bit different. 15 basis points over $1. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to get into this too deeply. Vishesh does a full breakdown of the state of the peg in the Thursday call. I highly suggest you check out him walking through all of this. It's far more articulate than I. But yeah, all these kind of bullet points are there. You can go check them out. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, the foundation put out a nice article about why merchants should accept DAI for crypto payments this month. Yeah, there's a number of really cool things mentioned in this Maker Relay that I wish I had a bit more time to dive into. But overall, pretty cool. Yeah, so here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We got about 2 minutes left in the call, and I'm also going to move my crowdcast to right in front of me so I can talk to you guys and gals. Anyway, yeah, it's about 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you all for coming. I believe next week we're going to have Akiva as a guest, and the week after that we're going to be having a few more hackathon winners come on and demo and do a bit of Q&A like we did today. And again, if you are interested in reaching out to Akash, Sunny, or anybody who has been producing like this kind of stuff, reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you guys, or reach out directly to them. You have a link to at least their GitHub projects, so you know what their GitHub handles are. But I'm sure Akash and Sunny and Sarang might all be on Twitter. But yeah, if you guys like, post your handles in the chat. But otherwise, reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you guys via email. Yeah. So hopefully this was a good one. Thank you guys and gals for coming. And I will see you all next week. And with that being said, I am gonna end the broadcast.